I'm thinking in my head about conjugations of Japanese verbs, and I'm so neru is to sleep, which is nemasu, and I'm trying to think of the negative form of that, and I feel like it's just nenai, but that doesn't sound right to me, so now I have to look it up. Because it's not nemanai, because that would be nemu, not neru.
Doesn't matter. Let's play Sleeping Cocoon. Let me just go right back into save. that was useful. Here's our nudie friend. Everybody's favorite nudie friend. But we gotta nude up yin and yang. That's our goal now. We've already adequately nuded up the dark spirit, so it's time to nude up yin and yang. This game is really Japanese.
Am I just wrong? I thought it was neru for sleep. Yeah, it is just neru.
I am somewhat. Well, Nemuru should be sleeping.
Yeah, well, Nemuru would be, isn't it? Yeah, sleeping. But Neru is sleep. But I'm trying to think of like the negative form of because Nemuru, I know the negative form is Nemuranai. But
I don't understand why you need the sleeping
I
form.
wouldn't, but that's my point, is that like maybe that's why it doesn't sound right, because I have never heard it before.
How do we know where to go though, asked Van Whitman. I don't. I am doing something that there's just no way you need to do this much effort. I must be missing the fast travel opportunity. But I don't know what the fast travel is, or how I'm missing it, or what's going on, so...
Press 9 for map, obviously.
Press 9 for map, obviously, on this PlayStation controller.
Yes. That's why you haven't found it yet.
It is hard to find the 9 button on a PlayStation controller. Oops, it's actually up here. No, it isn't. Dang it. This floor keeps getting to me because you have to like go around in a particularly strange path. I don't want to deal with you. Go away. Leave me alone.
So I looked up just nenai, and it is don't sleep. But then when I flip it, then it's making it an imperative.
Now, is it don't sleep or is it doesn't sleep?
That's the problem, is that I don't know a good translation for that, because neru is just to sleep. So what's the negative of that? To not sleep, I guess, is probably the better translation of that.
Sleepeth not.
But then when I try to not sleep in English, then it translated as nemure nai yo ni, which I think it's trying to make it into a full sentence.
I think you should be asking ChatGPT instead of any sort of dictionary.
I don't.
Let me just walk right into that trap.
Besides, what are the chances that literally the Google Translate is now just using AI?
100%. It is known that Google Translate is just using AI. But, so here's the fascinating
The kind of
thing.
AI is different.
Yes, so, like, I was looking up recently what the best, there is no Mallow audio, says Nettie. What? What
have you done?
What have I done? It's supposed to be going through.
I guess they thought you were talking to nobody.
Yeah, they thought I was talking to myself. One moment. Let me figure out what's going on here.
I don't know how we got this far into the stream with people just assuming that the way you were talking was normal.
I mean, I think it says a lot more about me that...
That's kind of what I was thinking.
I mean, it's just like, well, you know, he's talking to an imaginary
Sometimes
voice in his head,
himself,
but
yeah.
that's just Yahweasel. That's just what he does.
Yep.
No! I do think, I have come to peace with the fact that some people don't have an internal monologue. I still don't fully, like, accept it as reality, but I am at peace with the idea that some people don't have an internal monologue. But when I'm Let's Play, I'm literally just voicing that. I just, like, make that voice, but with your mouth. Exactly, Van Whitman. Oh, no, I don't want to have this discussion again. So, it seems, as far as I can tell, it seems to be about 50% of people who always hear a voice, roughly their own voice, in their head, that it is what thinking is. This is the thing that makes it so difficult to describe this to, like, I cannot...
I don't understand.
Yeah, I cannot have a true understanding of what it means not to have an internal voice, an internal monologue, because to me, when the internal monologue stops, that is literally the same thing as death. Like, the internal monologue is me. It's what thinking is. So yes, anytime anybody who doesn't have an internal monologue asks what it's like, it's really hard to describe. It's like, I don't know, it's like existing.
I don't understand the concept of thinking without that.
Yeah, exactly. There's also, so like, occasionally there will be this debate about like, which came first, the language or human consciousness. And to somebody with an internal monologue, it seems like that's a very different and more sort of challenging question than to somebody without an internal monologue. Because if you don't have an internal monologue, then you don't think in language. And so it's like, well, obviously you can develop consciousness without needing language. But if you have an internal monologue, it's like, but thinking is language.
Yeah.
So yeah, Van Whitman, that's go look up inner monologue and you'll be stunned. You'll be stunned from the opposite perspective that I'm stunned.
But what Van Whitman says, you just think, but
I know.
What's that experience?
To somebody with an inner monologue, it is utterly incomprehensible what it means to conceptualize ideas without having a linguistic like tether for them. So. Yeah.
Well, and it's like the similar conundrum of people. Some people, when they visualize something, they literally visualize it. They see it, and some people don't. And like, I think that I do literally see it, even though it's not like I don't see it in front of my face.
So, Nettie, it is not that the inner monologue is the only mode of thought there is. Like, I can visualize things, but the inner monologue is the, like, guiding... Oh, I can jump to 7 now! Yay! The inner monologue is, like, the guiding... it is the core from which all other thought stems if you are an inner monologuist. Would you agree with that characterization, Mallow?
Yeah, probably. I'd have to think about it more, because I can imagine a situation where I close my eyes and spatially see things without, like, literally thinking about words, maybe?
I can't.
I don't know.
I can visualize things, but there is always still a vocal or word-ish track at the same time as. Yeah,
can I imagine a situation where I'd have to do like experiments on myself to figure it out.
Oh my. The incredible thing, what I really love ever since coming to peace with the fact that some people do not have an inner monologue, is anytime I bring this up, which I do all the time, because just as a sort of fascinating bit of information, it is really fascinating. Every time I bring it up, it is just as shocking to either side.
I'm surprised at the surprise coming at me, if that makes sense.
Like, it is equally common that I get people going, what can you it possibly mean to think with a monologue? And I get people who's like, what can it possibly mean to not have an internal monologue all the time? I flow with words, Van Whitman. Words are the flow. Words are words are both the river and the liquid.
So here's a question, Van Whitman, and I'm sure this is brought up in every such discussion, but when you sit down to write like anything, an article, a paper, anything, when you sit down to write it and you're at your keyboard,
that you're a research scientist.
It doesn't matter what you do. You've written something in your life, right? When you sit down to write it out, I don't understand how you don't like this. For me, it's like almost the same time of me thinking and typing it out. But like, there's definitely a voice that happens before it reaches my fingers. It may only be a second before it reaches my fingers, but
I believe through interact. By the way, I've already been on floor 7, but it's always so long since I go here that I don't remember which way to do anything. I believe that there are both non-inner monologists who will say, well, yeah, I can think in words if I'm trying to form words, and non-inner monologists who insist that even then they don't think in words. Van Whitman is a writer, and my brain is just like imploded. I don't understand how. Oh, I'm being forced to walk over here. I didn't choose this. I didn't choose this game. Yeah, you can tell
because the speed changed. Yeah, when I think about this might be very different from your experience, yeah, Weasel. But when I think about like responding to somebody, like in a fast-paced conversation where one person says something and then I'm going to say something, if I'm just responding sort of automatically, I don't feel like there's an inner monologue that tells me what to say. But if I'm thinking about like what I'm going to say next, then there definitely is. So it's hard for me to say on that.
So I would say that the experience of responding without that inner preparation is simply voicing the inner monologue. It is just choosing to make the inner monologue external, at least to my mind.
Maybe it's basically instantaneous in inner monologue.
That's the flow, says Van Whitman.
But like, as I was just about to say what I'm saying right now, the but-like formed in my head before I said
don't force me through that. Where are you making me go now? What is this floor? What is this? Why do I have no control? Where am I going to go this time?
People without an inner monologue then literally just have an inner monologue that they act upon instantaneously 100% of the time.
But
that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. It's the whole thing of the inner monologue is that it is linguistic.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
Okay, so I think
it's mind-bending.
I think the conceit of this floor that I didn't ever fully understand is that every time you go through that door, it forces you to a random one of these zones. And so I probably haven't been through every zone, but it doesn't actually matter. Like, they all end up in the same place.
Yeah.
So Van Whitman, the think
part is the part.
Yes, the think part is the part. When I think, it is in words.
Yes, exactly. There's not like a literal sound like sound waves, but there's an inner voice.
There is a phenomena. There is an experience, not a phenomenon. An experience which is sort of
similar to, in most ways, the sound.
It is analogous to hearing.
You can tell, let's put it this way. You can tell the difference between an inner voice and a not inner voice. At least I can. Maybe there are some people who can't, actually.
Well, I think that if you can't, that is actually a form of insanity.
Yes, exactly. But you can, in other words, you can tell, you know that it's not a 100% exact.
The inner voice is at the speed of thought, not at the not at the speed of talk. I mean, Van Whitman, 50% of people agree that there is an inner monologue. So if you're arguing that it's hallucination, you're arguing that half of the people who exist are constantly hallucinating.
Which is fine. Like, if that's how you want to define hallucinating, then whatever.
Is the speed of thought a constant, as Nettie? Well, it depends on the gravitational field you're in.
Well, it depends on the mass of the thing moving through.
Yeah. It depends on the ratio of the... If you're thinking in a black hole, then it's actually it's a speed through it's space, not time. the time and space factors inverse.
Van Whitman, I say that's very different because, like, when there's a phenomenon that when you're falling asleep, you may hear it's kind of rare, but you may hear a loud noise that startles you and wakes you up, and the loud noise isn't real. And when you wake up to that situation, you usually recognize that noise isn't real, but it sounded like a real noise. The inner voice sounds like a voice in the experience, but not the physical experience. It's in the mental experience.
Yes, it is an experience that has an analogy to language, which is why everybody describes it as an inner voice. And one can even ascribe like timbre to the voice. My inner voice.
Yeah.
Well, so my inner voice is my voice as I hear it in my head, which is not my voice as you hear it.
Yep.
But that doesn't mean that I think that it is an actual sound that is actually being made. It is, just it is what experiencing reality is. It is it is my brain.
And if you asked me,
I think Van Whitman has like actual hallucinations and thus doesn't know how to abstract the idea that any of this could be non-hallucinatory.
There is let's put it this way: there's a 0% chance that I would ever mistake my inner voice for a real voice.
Yes.
So it's for me, a hallucination means like an experience that you can't tell the difference between whether it's real or not. So this isn't one of the, real as in physical or not. This is not that.
Well, that took for freaking ever to find the staircase.
That's fine. Like, we don't get you either, so...
Yeah, exactly. This is the whole thing with the inner monologue discussion, that neither side... Because everyone only has their own subjective experience, no one can ever understand the other side, which is... I think it's more interesting. So, there's lots of things like that, if you're born with male body parts, then you can only have the experience of those male body parts, and you can never know what it is to be female in the physical sense. And there are lots of those, but I feel like it's a lot more profound when it is the mode by which we think. Yeah. What thinking
Cognition.
is. Cognition is
Human
different.
Cognition.
I remember solving the challenge of this floor, which was just we had to kill one of the jerks and get Yin and Yang's memory. But I don't remember if there's like a fast path to get to the other thing.
So now here's what I'm wondering. Because people who do experience an inner voice often experience it as their own voice as they hear it when they speak, are those people more susceptible to hate their voice as a recording? Now, I know you're an exception, but I'm wondering because...
my voice is so much more nasal in a recording than it is in my head that it's like almost unbelievable when I have gotten accustomed to it, but the sheer nasality of my voice when I actually listen to it, it's like, oh, that's what I sound like.
Nettie asks a question that I'm sure has been studied before.
Yes, it has. And so there are two levels of thinking about an inner monologue, that there is the language versus the experiential relationship of that to sound, the analogy to sound, and deaf people who have an inner monologue will still think in words that might be, the physical sensation
Signed
of Braille
words,
or sign, sign. Wait, Braille is blind. It might be sign language, whatever. But there's still the distinction between thinking in words and not thinking in words.
Yeah, and I would say, when I have an inner monologue, if I'm not thinking about it too much.
It's so difficult to describe the experience because it's so subjective.
So what I'm saying is, if I have an inner monologue and I'm not thinking about it too much and I'm like getting ready to talk, I think I have the experience of my lips and mouth, like my vocal tract, like getting muscular impulses to make the same sounds that I'm thinking as I'm thinking them. And I bet the same is true with deaf people, but for the signs. In other words, there's a connection in my brain between my inner monologue and my actual voice, that it's more than just, it's in my voice, but it's like literally my throat and tongue and lips and stuff are being told this is how you would form this sound without actually forming the sound.
So I wonder, this is why, even though I have because I find the entire lack of internal monologue so fascinating, this is one I haven't looked up. When people talk about if you learn a language, you've really learned it if you think in the language, but surely people who don't think in language don't think in any language. So
yeah, that's true. Well, but that's the thing about what Van Whitman was saying, is that he defines a word think. He just doesn't define it in the way that you're saying. So maybe you can think in a language even if that language you don't hear the language in your head, if that makes sense. It doesn't make sense to me, but it apparently might make sense to Van Whitman.
Found it. Now, have we done floor 9?
I will say, Van Whitman, on what you're saying about
we have definitely
words,
not done floor 9. I don't recognize this.
Yeah, I don't remember this. About what you're saying about the words making no sense if you can see them sometimes under some conditions. I will dream in other languages from time to time, and in the dream, I am 100% certain that it's real in that language, but it's not because I don't know that language, or I don't know it well enough to dream in it. Serune. It's Selune God.
Selene Guard, according to...
Serene. Yeah, sorry. Serene. Yeah.
The secret of the far side of the moon. There is no need for people to know it. Leave at once. I mean, I just need to get up the tower. I don't really care about the secret of the far side of the moon, to be perfectly frank. Is this the same? Serene Guard, suggests Van Whitman.
I think that's a better translation. Yeah. It's Serene Guard. Actually, S-E-L-E, Selenite, S-E-L-E-N is a moon-related thing.
Are you perhaps planning to defeat me? Sure. I like defeating.
Tsuki is moon, yes. I don't know
you are
where
welcome
you
to try.
Something.
And so he vanishes. If he's going to defeat me, step 1 is to vanish. Well, you exist, so let's go ahead and kill you for no reason. Oh, gonna take a while at that rate.
I bet if I look up moon in Italian, it's gonna be something like Selene.
Okay, you hurt. I get it.
English to Italian.
This is very much a physical attacker, though, so if I stick to magic, there's not a lot he can do against me.
Oh, no, moon is just Luna. Yeah, okay. What is the prefix Selen?
It means
prefix
selling the moon.
Or Seleno comes from, the Greek meaning moon, okay. Okay, so it's not Italian, it's Greek.
Who put Greek in my Italian-Japanese game?
I know, right? When I look up lunar in English and translate that to Greek, it's Seleniakos.
Selene Nachos.
Yeah, it's also the name of a goddess, Van Whitman. and it's a moon goddess, I believe.
Okay, that was
Because of
fun.
the connection.
So you're suddenly playing Baldur's Gate, y'all Weasel, asked Van Whitman. Suddenly, I'm actually in the process of editing the Baldur's Gate 3 dumb shit run for publication. The beautifully strong sorcery doll is our idol, a figure of admiration.
Why did you pronounce idol like that?
How did I pronounce it?
It sounded like you said idol.
Our idol. I don't know, because I don't know how to pronounce words.
Even in your head?
Even in my head.
I can think in music too, actually, in melodies.
So I would say...
I wouldn't say thinking. I should say more, I can form melodies in my head.
Yes. Yeah, I would agree with that characterization. I would not agree with the characterization that is thinking in melodies.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
Voice of the Selene Guard. Oh, true moon sorcery doll, Lady Selene, let this person pass. Interesting. So... all of this doll stuff, it's worth mentioning. Remember that we are like a spirit-inhabited doll in this world. But
yes.
the sun and moon, which are equated to yin and yang, but possibly in the opposite order, they don't have dolls per se, or at least you can't choose to play them. I guess they probably do, but they're, NPCs. So there's an equation there between our doll and their dolls.
Yes.
Hello. Nice, a double helix you got there.
Well, that's a lot of kanji. The first kanji, I feel like, was the kanji for fat, but that doesn't make any sense.
He doesn't look fat to you? By Japanese standards, this guy is real fat.
Fair enough.
Bye. Come on, all I want to do is see Yin's tits.
We're getting there, don't worry. In due time. Yin and Yo.
I'm going to stick with yin and yang. Just because
fair enough.
Those are terms
because
I recognize
the same thing.
more. Interesting checkerboardy arrangement here. Suggests that there's going to be something checkerboardy here. Excuse me, I gotta go fight some idiots. Oh, we got one tit.
This is argent gem, and argent is silver, so silver
this is
gem.
One tit angel.
It's about tits, Van Whitman.
The game is about drugs first.
Okay, drugs first, tits second.
Yes.
That sounds like a frat, like, I don't know, like a...
Yo, drugs first. It's like bros before hoes, but drugs
Exactly.
It's,
Yep.
So, by the way, I want to point out that the movie that blinded me appeared to be throwing a contact lens at me. Got another double helix staff guy. I think we actually saw this one on the previous floor, but maybe didn't see the other one. And Van Whitman, don't think that we're being sarcastic when we say it's about drugs, because it is incomprehensible. Trying to understand this game. There's like some spirits of different energies, and you collect their brain walnuts so that they nude up for you. Oh. Oh, it's like a lens. Yes. Let us interact with the lens from the back. Love this music. Sorcery doll, Selene. Finally, yes, exactly that, Van Whitman. That is that's what you need to have in mind. The existence behind the soul of Sorcerer Yin. Okay. The reason I was born. I think. Wait, what was? I was giving them this one. The reason I was born. That's the one. Nope. Okay, are we gonna? This is That's a Digimon.
This is the second. Yeah, it is. The second half is Serene, which is again the Selene's the moony thing. The first half, it's too many kanji for me.
Ooh, that does a lot of damage against this enemy.
And Whitman says it's an avatar of Selene. I could believe that.
Yeah, I can very well believe that. It probably, like, Avatar of Selene and Doll of Selene would mean the same thing in this universe, so it's probably both of those things. Ow. You gotta stop healing yourself. It's really annoying. I'm doing a lot of damage against you, but you keep healing it back. So if you could just stop doing that. Yeah, I don't think this enemy is any real threat to me, other than its ability to heal itself, which is excessively annoying. Ow. I could attempt, dodging more of its attacks, but I am lazy. You missed me. Dang it, I missed you. Bye.
This is just from Selene.
Oh, we're actually talking to the god now. Neat. I wanted to defeat you.
I guess that would make sense if this is the avatar of Selene. She's talking through.
Yeah, I wanted to defeat you, defeat you, defeat you, defeat you, defeat you. Is that? Does it actually? Oh, yeah, it does repeat the same thing over and over again. Fine.
Oh, yeah, there it is. Yeah,
that way, you won't forget me, right? I mean, if you defeated me to death, then I would forget you because I would be dead, but I guess I'll do less forgetting of you since I won.
But remember, you would be reincarnated.
True. Oh, got another. God, we got this memory walnut really fast.
Yeah.
The soul of the sorcerer Yin. If we return to the barrier, we should be able to learn a bit more about the truth of the... Okay, wait. Back up. Somebody who could do some Japanese reading corrected this, that it keeps mis-OCRing that, and so the demon incident is something slightly different from demon incident. I personally don't think the distinction is all that important, but let me just...
Which part is it? The second half or the... oh, yeah, it is. Yeah. The second character in that second quote
Side
thing.
2C said 10 years ago, as I commented on an earlier episode 2 months ago, the OCR constantly misrecognizes Japanese characters as other Japanese characters, except for a rare few times, like a final incident in this episode. Now the game is delving deeper into the story, revealing that Japanese characters is a horrifying book created using human bodies as materials, and that it depicts the world of soul. It's time to fix the issue once and for all. Avoid more mistranslation. So... in Boogle's walkthrough, it's translated as the Grimoire incident. I can see that because the second is like demon book is like the Grimoire.
Yeah, the second character there is writing, not what it shows as the second character in the I'm talking about the second quotation area. Yeah, it's specifically the second character in the second quotation area, and the top one is
when you look at it, you can understand why it would miss why it does that because it's just like a block of pixels.
Yeah, so, but it's
But so I don't think it's that crucial, the distinction, but just to say, Side to Z corrected it. It is actually the Grimoire incident, essentially, or the demon book incident, not just the demon incident. There we go.
Yeah, and I had just chalked that up to this game being drug craziness, and it still is either way. So I wasn't like actually looking at the characters close enough to
well, but also like that's why I don't think it's that important of a mistranslation because like. Yeah, fine. We know there is a particular book, but it's just as like nonsense. You've obtained a suspicious soul and 1,000 ips. Oops! Don't jump to the same level I'm already on. Let's fight a mantle. Let's accidentally click no. Let's actually heal myself before fighting a mantle. A shady soul, says Van Whitman. Yep. Does it stand up when you call it, says Van Whitman. Boo. Okay, heal myself. Then...
Did you ask please for it to stand up? You were supposed to boo me too.
I feel like the boo I already did was adequate for any repetitions of the joke. I mean, the soul is slim, as we will see as Yin continues to undress herself. Take it off,
that
Yin!
fat thing that we saw earlier.
Okay, time for the nudie show. Oh, wait, first we have to identify about 6,000 rings that don't do anything useful.
Yeah. And one that might, but you won't ever know.
Yep. We've already seen this one.
Or at least a similar looking one, if not this one exactly.
Right, yeah. This is the one that increases dark magic but decreases light magic and blah, blah, blah. Some points of defense, blah, blah, blah. This, I think, is one of the generic sort of improved magic ones. Oh, no. I don't recognize this.
That looks like it's a watch.
It does look like a watch, yes.
It says it's lights
Reduce
damage.
light damage by 2 points. This effect is cumulative. So it's just a straight up reduce light damage, but by a tiny, like a laughably small amount. Ancient Rolex, says Fed Women. There's nothing to place this game into any time period. It talks about events of the 14th century, but the game itself is without any specific time. Reduce dark damage by 30 points. That's a little bit better. But yeah, don't really need that.
Wow, that's fancy.
This is going to be reduced red damage or fire damage by 30 points.
Yeah, fire.
Yeah. Who cares, Eth? The problem is, like, by the time we're getting these 30-point reductions, attacks are doing, like, 200 damage, which, I mean, 30 points against 200 damage isn't nothing, but it's not enough to be worth, like, rearranging all of my jewelry.
This is fire damage reduced by 10 points, but water damage, or ice damage increased by...
I don't like any of these that are, like, do a little bit more of this damage, but a little bit less of that damage. Like, I don't know what kind of enemies I'm going to be encountering. Mention it being 600 years
Nettie's
since...
right.
Oh, that's right, Nettie. Yeah. It did say. Yeah.
There have been a few mentions of more modern things for sure.
Yeah. I think that tech up, speed up, level up. I do think it said. I feel like it said that it had been 600 years in a way that suggested that is not a literal exact, like it is now 1945. But yes, it did suggest that like 6 centuries had passed. Take it off, babe. Come on.
She's still only 3 walnuts in. She's got a long way to go yet. Huh. Tentacle porn is what you're looking at.
Good
you didn't know Yin was tentacle porn.
Tentacle porn. Unsurprising. This game is Japanese. Let us never forget. This is my soul.
Oh, proto Hatsune Miku. I could see it.
Oh, the vagina opens.
Oh, wow. And look, she's definitely naked. That
was the worst morph ever. That was so badly done.
She is Hatsune Miku.
So, okay, the thing that makes this face look particularly doofusy isn't actually the face. It's that, like, the hat or whatever and the hands are placed so badly with respect to the face that it just looks like...
Yeah, it looks like AI art tried to draw this. That hat, by the way, I bet the intention of it is to make it look like a crescent moon.
Oh, I guess I see what you're saying. It's really bad.
It is. It's very bad.
The old alchemist Lawrence, I remember Lawrence, who possessed the first demon that was nearly destroyed by the 4 knights. That was the Animorph style of morphing, says Dad. Yeah, except that, like, they didn't choose their start and end image well, so it was even worse than that.
I think that the last 2 kanji in this one were captured correctly, and it's translating it as grimoire indeed, and it's the same 2 as the other one.
A new demon conceived the idea of creating the second grimoire. He considered using someone with the same blood and flesh as the person who became the same blood and flesh as the person who became the material for the first demon to recreate the demon. Okay. It was a tragic yet terrifying incident buried in the darkness of history. Now my sorcery has been unleashed. Equip the magic using the magic command. It should strengthen you. Does that mean I can learn moon magic?
Moon magic, man named you.
Yeah. Now I would call it underwear, but it's just very specifically like a genital hider.
It's a crescent moon again.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was gonna say. It is also a crescent moon. Her nipple pasties. Her nipple pasties are crescent moons.
No, her nipple pasties. Those are definitely pasties.
I mean, pasties are crescent moons anyway. So she's got 2 pasties stuck to her tits and a vagina hiding pasty. This is
She's also got one thigh pauldron.
She hasn't mooned us yet, Van Whitman. We haven't seen her ass. And she had crescent moons on her knees just to censor them too.
And she had one thigh pauldron. That's what it was. There was no doubt that was a thigh pauldron.
Okay, let's see. If I go to code training, is that what she was saying? Like, I guess it would be spirit magic. No, not here. Maybe it would be almighty magic? No, we've already learned that all. Huh. So maybe I need to go to... Oh, it said go to magic. There is a magic menu.
Oh, yeah.
But this is just like where you equip magic. Oh, and maybe I have it, but I can't train... What the...
Name change. Wait, what does that say?
Use the left and right directional keys to select the magic you want to change the activation name for. Is activation name just like the...
Try it and see what it lets you do.
The only one it lets me choose is this one.
Which one? The bottom one?
Left and right aren't doing anything, and clicking isn't doing anything. And attempting to leave the menu isn't doing any game. Wait. Okay, wait. My as has been happening a lot recently, my joy to
your
key
controller
crashed.
Disconnected.
Yeah. Why would I be able to change
this
the name
is Memento
of
Mori,
the magic?
by the way.
No, none of this. No. Yeah, let's just leave it nameless.
Uh-oh.
Perfect.
What about Asahinin Hill? Oh, you can do English letters. So this is Memento Mori, so... it's not going to be able to fit Mori. Wow.
What did that do? What was the point? What just happened?
You can now cast Memento Boy.
I can now cast Memento Boy.
You can also ban somebody on Twitch.
Once again, I'm going to take the outlandish amount of extra time that it takes to actually report them. Because they make reporting far, far worse.
Yep.
I can't even find the report button now. There's report. God. Great. Yes. Spam. Viewership tampering. And then you have to tell us more, but I'm sending you the goddamn chat message, so I'm just going to type the word spam in there.
Yep, exactly.
I have to go through 6 menus.
Yep.
God, Twitch.
Twitch isn't the there was a website that I was reporting spammers on, and every time it would do the same thing. It would make you click what it was that it was spam, but then you had to put something in the tell us more field, otherwise it wouldn't accept it. And it's like, it's spam. What else do you want me to tell you? So I just type this is spam every time, just because you don't need to know more. It's spam.
Luna Life Burst.
Yeah, that's what it says. But it might say Luna Life Bust. But I think that's more just because it couldn't fit
gives me life. Okay, so Triangle is now Luna Life Burst, which appears to not have multiple levels. Its level was even given as just dash.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It's not merely that it only has level 1. It lacks the concept of levels.
So if Yin is the moon goddess, Luna is Yin. So Luna's life bust, as Van Whitman calls it, is just her breast.
That's literally the joke I just made. I said Luna's bust gives me life.
Yeah, but you didn't specifically connect it to Yin.
Fine, fair enough. Nope.
Which, by the way, I think is probably
Actually, you know
in Chinese pronounced the same as it is in Japanese, even though it's spelled Y-I-N, or at least in Mandarin. I think it would just be pronounced Yin.
Yeah. It gets transliterated as Yin, but it's Yin.
Yeah.
Spirit magic. Maybe you need to use her bust in a specific place, says Van Women. Oh, that could very well be the case. Like maybe her tits will unlock something.
That would be a very Japanese thing to do.
And this game is profoundly Japanese.
It's so Japanese that it could not be translated into another language and be successful.
That was a big fail. Let's just go ahead and undo that. I can get 4 stars. I can't seem to get 5 stars. No 5 stars. And then I'm just going to use the rest for image training.
Mm-hmm. Get more points.
We seem to be on Burden Stone. I don't remember if there was a specific reason we were on Burden Stone, but sure, why not? Oh, this takes forever in fast mode.
I think you were going for more life, and I think Burden Stone is good for life.
Yeah. I think I also just wanted things to be a little bit less focused on speed in general, but obviously there's still some speed going in. Let's see if there's one of them that'll put a little bit more on power. That one puts more on power, but it really didn't seem to put anything on life, which isn't great. That seems good. I'm going to go with Burden Clay. My power is so low. That made an extra sound.
I can't even hear.
Yeah, I know. It won't be coming through loudly enough for you. Oh, actually... God, in the same way that it would... Yeah, you're not getting the game audio at all this time.
I was just realizing I literally can't hear anything.
Yeah, okay, let me fix that, too. This game is some strange RPG, says Van Whitman. It is weirder than Weird RPG, and it is a weird RPG, so, you know, no points to Weird RPG for its weirdness compared to this. It should have just been a translation of Sleeping Cocoon.
Exactly.
Dream. No, not lessons. None of this. Back to my dungeon. Now, the annoying part is, because it didn't let me go to another level, if it was going to offer me more fast travel, it isn't going to offer me more fast travel. Wow, it's not even been an hour of playtime yet, and we've already gotten a memory thing.
Mm-hmm.
We spent so much time talking about inner monologues and the lack thereof that it really flies when you talk about inner monologues. It being time. We go this way. Then we walk into that trap. Then we go this way. Then we go this way. Then we go down here somewhere. This way. Then we just ignore every enemy but walk into an enemy trap anyway. Dang. Well, at least it's the guy with his fold-out sword. And as he dies, his sword goes limp. Maybe the sword, like, in the hilt, there's something that you need to compress to get it to go stiff. And when he dies, he obviously can't compress that anymore. so. Hey, wait. Playback. Okay, great. So somehow making Mallow be able to hear my audio, his audio, so we can't hear him anymore.
No. I'm still here.
Oh, you're still okay. I was looking at something and it seemed to really loudly suggest that your audio wasn't going anywhere, but it's fine. Everything's fine.
No. I had it muted, but I'm
How
communicating about the state of the world and my place in it right now with somebody. So.
Well, don't worry, it's all fine. You do live in a first world country. Oh, that's right, you don't though.
Correct.
Wow, really? That was horrible. But good enough for 22 points. Let's try going around these central buildings this time, see if that makes anything better. Answer, yes, considerably. That's way faster. Why didn't I... God, I was so obsessed with going in a straight line. I went a much slower route before. Whoa. Nope. Still level 7, so we gotta go through like 3 levels. Including the annoying level 7 itself, which always gives me a different route, so any attempt I make at memorizing the route, totally pointless. Oh, you know what? Okay, wait. I'll bet that coding Luna's Tits Burst is just one click. Because I have seen them do these spells at us that are just single clicks. Oh, yeah. And don't have any rhythm to them. Looks like I'm going this way this time. Yeah, let's see what Luna's Tits Burst does. Yeah, it's this one. Interesting. So now we have a trivial code. It's weird that you get something that's easy to code very, very late in the game.
Well, I mean, it's...
If nearly 25% through the game.
if you play games correctly, then your work earlier in the game should make things easier later in the game.
True, but we also, like, part of your leveling up is making it more generous about the timing of coding.
Yeah, that's true.
But then it also makes coding faster, so
yeah.
It's sort of
it balances
6 of one,
out.
half a dozen of the other, I guess.
But also, wouldn't you say that just having to click once is making it easier to time the code?
Undoubtedly, yeah, and I get 5 stars every time.
Exactly.
Ow, I done did burned myself. It's not very good, though. At least against this enemy. This is the first enemy I've actually tried it against. I got some magma. Margamel. I don't want to fight you. Hello, free treasure. No, you can't make me fight you. I'm too lazy. Hooray! I dodged a battle out of sheer laziness. Should have remembered this part of this route. This is the same one I went last time. Analog Demon Potato! It's worse. It's just worse. It doesn't do a lot of damage, and even though it is just a single click to code, do you see how slowly it codes? It's really slow. This isn't the way either.
And you can't level it up, right?
Right, because it doesn't have levels.
Yeah. I mean, maybe it's meant to be used against certain enemies who are weak against it, and that's it.
Well, so Van Whitman suggested that, like, maybe there's a specific place in the game world where you're supposed to use it. That seems very likely to me. That there's, like, some moon
Yeah, but then that would
statue
make it
or-
effectively an unlock spell.
Yeah, that would make it a key spell, but I could believe that they just forgot they had key spells by now. There's been so much game, they totally forgot that they've already introduced key spells.
So the sun doors, they look like they're going to open by like lensing that little sun thing in the middle open. But instead they just open normally. So
They're
the
just
hole
doors
is just
with a window. Yeah.
Yeah. Not very effective doors, basically.
So this is a sun guy. So if I use a moon spell against him, is that super
Yeah,
effective?
you'd think it would be good.
83. Man, that sure did nothing.
Huh. I mean, to be fair, if you try to use the moonlight on the sun...
It is the sun. The moonlight is sunlight.
Exactly.
So.
It's not very effective.
Unless, of course, you get a billion laser pointers.
I see you've seen that What If video and
Of
or read
course.
the What If article.
Of course.
I think he had 2 articles about it, because he had a second one to take things even further, if I remember correctly.
Sure, I've seen the video. Okay,
Yeah.
This is the floor we were on before. I did say before there, yes. And we essentially missed most of the floor because following the left wall got us to the right place instantaneously. Clicky, clicky.
What about that door? Can you use the Luna magic on these doors?
Interesting thought. Thing is, usually when it's magic, it flashes the screen instead of.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that is true. I forgot about that.
This is just
ring
the clicky,
that you
clicky
have.
lock. Yeah. Those are all locked. That sort of suggests, given that the stairs are right here, that suggests that there's something I need to do on this floor that I haven't done yet.
This
That
guy
I
has
mean,
a gimp mask. It's moon something.
This whole bodysuit is a fetish thing. It's
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
there is a fetish happening here.
Yep.
And he has keys. He can magically hold the keys to his gimp suit, but he can't actually
Yes.
use them because he can't use
Correct.
his hands. That's a real tragedy. That's just the form of torture for this level. You're in a gimp
Yes,
suit
exactly.
and you have the keys, but because you can't freely move your hands, you can't get them to the padlock.